Hello, can people hear me? And do I sound any good at all? Because I don't know if you guys noticed, but in the last video I put out, my settings were completely fried. And it was very embarrassing because I went through that whole recording session with Andre, which was a lot of fun. Um, should be surprised to nobody that he's very enjoyable to work with. Um, and then I go to check the recording afterwards, and it's like, oh my god, I sound so bad. And like for myself, whenever I click on a YouTube video, if people sound like if the audio is not good, I basically just click off straight away, regardless of how promising the rest of it is. Fortunately, people don't seem to have minded because like most of the video is Andre, and he sounds great, but it's hard to go back and fix that, you know. So it is what it is, right? Hello. Oh, my settings, my camera settings have all muddled. Hmm. Interesting. Okay, let me fix that. Hey, Mahir. That's all of me. That's less of me. I need to go to find my settings again to make me a square because they've all just disappeared for some reason. Is that right? No, that's too much. That's probably fine. Nope, that's also too much. That's not enough. Okay. Well, we can juice it a little bit. Ah. And then let's de-rectangularize me. So I can go a little bit wider than that. Let's go. Okay, that makes sense. And then take a little off the bottom there, maybe. Like that. That look good? It's quite squarish, isn't it? It's good. Lovely. But then if I go to over here, I still want it to be full. Okay. Because yeah, the reason that happened is I took away the border and my settings for this full cam scene, which seems to be working okay. But then I decided to do it for all of the other ones as well. How are we doing today, guys? How's work? Seeing as you guys should all be working, I'm already done. Ha 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 ha. How lucky am I on this beautiful Monday? I have some good plans for today's stream. I'm gonna do the pack opening, which I may make into like a YouTube short or something like that. I haven't really done shorts, but we can figure that out. Then I'm going to heading off to work in 15 minutes. What? What an insane time to start work. Do you do a graveyard shift somewhere? Off to work in 15 minutes. Oh, good thing you could catch the start of the stream then. Holy. What the hell? That's a tough one. I don't think I've ever worked a job that did like proper graveyard shift. I've worked a lot of different jobs, and a lot of them have had weird start times, but never I guess I worked in a bar, and that started in the evenings. And yeah, I would be starting work around now. So back when I was a bartender for a couple of years, that was the closest. But I'd usually be done by like midnight as well, so that was not that bad. I could live a normal life still. I'm gonna take a little bit more off the top here. There's probably an easier way to do this than the way that I do it, but let's go with like that. Okay, that looks a little bit more natural. Maybe like something like that. So yeah, unboxing stream. I want to do um a bracket for the worst Netrunner card. Evening host for the board game night at the game shop I work at. Oh, that's a cool job. So dungeon mixer, dungeon master is like your job. That's pretty cool. That's sweet. I used to work at the uni library where I would do 6 p.m. to 12 a.m. and at a pub where I'd do 1 p.m. to 1 a.m. Oof. Working until 1 a.m. is. And I have done some night shift. I used to work briefly. Change my camera. I just sit up. I used to work as a shelf packer at we call it Countdown in New Zealand, but in Australia it's called Woolworths. It's basically like Morrison's, I guess, Tesco. And yeah, I would just pack shelves. This was just after our COVID lockdowns kind of were clearing up. The Woolies, yeah, that's right. I should probably turn down my mic. I think I'm peaking when I just do that. Excuse me. I used to pack shelves with my fiance. We both had the same job in the same Woolworths because it was just like we were at her parents' place. Like we were not in a big city where we could easily find work in our own sectors, and we just needed something to like make a little bit of money on the side while we were chilling. So we would work from like 8 p.m. until midnight ish. So not even like that many hours either. But it was just it was the best. It was. She would tell you it's like the best job she's ever had. For me, it was. I didn't enjoy it as much, but it was pretty good. Cause, dude, you just put in earphones, and you just listen to music or podcasts, or even like an audiobook, while you just put things on shelves. It's fine. Like no one talks to you. You don't have. There's like no stakes. If you mess up, it's like okay, right? You put the honey there a bit funny, but whatever. Like it's no biggie. Um, it was just like yeah, the lowest stakes job I've ever had before or since, and it was very easy. It was really good. Maybe not infinitely fulfilling, and perhaps my coworkers were a bit strange, but yeah, shout out Woolies. They were called Countdown in New Zealand for weird branding reasons, which I don't fully understand, and then they rebranded back to Woolworths after building up like kind of all their goodwill under the Countdown name. So they used to be called Countdown, now they're called Woolworths in New Zealand and Australia. Do you guys have Woolworths here? I haven't seen a Woolworths in the UK. Is that why it's a nostalgia hit? Because it's used to be a thing. I think it's an Australian company, but you have a lot of supermarkets here. We did. They all closed down. Ah, well, there you go. That makes sense. Were they good? Were they like a beloved supermarket, or were they kind of like naff? And did they stock Australian produce, or was it just like basically another Tesco? Back in 2005. Huh, okay. So I was on the rowing machines earlier today over my lunch break, and now I'm out of breath. Should we do some pack openings? Some hype pack openings, get the energy up. I've had a coffee. I should be good to go. Check this out. Hold on, I can go to full cam for this. Vantage Point is here. Oh my god. Oh my god. We're getting... we got a pack to open. Now let me struggle with the plastic around it. See, I used to have to take care of these boxes because... I don't know what any of the VP point cards do. I'm going to go entirely off their rarities and their resale values. Oh, my camera's flipped, is it? So, yeah, okay, this is probably not a good time to have... Because I've got it mirrored for my own convenience because it behaves like a mirror. But if that's swapping the text of things, that's probably not optimal viewing experience. So let me take this webcam thing and go to... under filters? No, it's going to be under properties. Properties. One moment. Hold caller. I can flip myself upside down, I think. I can... Oh, good. Get me my settings back. Yeah, we could get Exodia. Who knows? Who knows what's going to be in these packs? That's the beauty of it. Effects filter. So many things here that are not flipping me horizontally. I'm sure I did this trivially the first time. Preview, scales, blending, interlacing, transitions, order, transform, flip horizontal. Okay, now you guys can read Vantage Point, is that right? Look at that. Oh my god. You guys don't even know what juicy pulls we're going to get out of this. I'm thinking I want a shiny Malaeus U, obviously, because that card's going to be face up on a lot of tables. Are you guys ready? Oh, okay. Oh, and we got it's sealed inside as well. And look, they don't let you know straight up what you're getting. They're not very transparent, this fan company. They don't, we don't even know the rarity percentages. I don't think the tables have been released or anything like that. So it could be anything, It's not so easy though. They don't make it easy. Oh. Okay. Just a slim pack today. All right. You guys ready? Press 1 for good luck. I don't know, what's the optimal, like what do people do? What's that? Oh my god. It's word on the street. Does it look kind of funny in the camera? Look at that. That's a 1 of 1 word on the street. And it's unique, so you can only play one of them. And why would you run more than one of this card? Oh, just another word on the street. Oh shit. Oh shit. Word on the street, look at that. That's 3 for 3. Those are all rares. I've never seen those in a game. They're probably too exclusive. Okay. Ready? Ooh, okay. Not bad. Not bad. I think that's a common though. All right, I'm starting to see the issue with this format. I'm starting. You know what? I'm just going to shuffle them. Effort. Okay. Oh my God, look at that. Now that is a shiny if I've ever seen one. It's literally, it's reflecting the light. It's foil. Foil. How do you even say this one again? Methuselah. It does look cool. My camera's maybe not the flashiest thing in the world, but it is a cool looking card. The colors on it like sit real nicely. Probably has huge resale value. Now, obviously, we're all hoping for the next one to be like a yeah, random meth drop. Oh, let me turn down my mic. I'm yelling enough that I think it's speaking. Does this sound good? Does everyone like? Okay, speaking loudly, speaking quietly. Does that sound okay? Okay. I'm feeling good. This next one's gonna be it. Are we ready? Oh shit! Holy! And then to bring up the resale value on this one, I think I saw these going on eBay for dozens and dozens of Great British pounds. Oh my God. Yeah, okay, let me. Wow. Hiram Omission Svensson, the one and only. Now, don't let anyone tell you that just because I rated this guy 1 star, that he's no good at all. He's worth lots, okay? And you should buy my copy for copious amounts of money. Oh, he would be a good commander. You could play Lantern Control. Just off the rip, you could play Lantern Control. Not very well, but you could do it. Okay, yeah. Underdome Irregulars. You might recognize that artwork because that's the one from the box. So you know this is getting good resale value. There's no way otherwise. Like, people like the iconic. Let me just bring my camera over here so that I can see myself a bit easier. Make sure that this is all making sense to people. Ready? Underdome was a hella overhyped card you right here, and I kind of was part of that. Hopefully I measured my opinion. Air check. Now this card people play, and it's crazy because it is just dog water, man. It's unbelievably bad along so many different avenues. But obviously this is garbage. Chaff. I'll give away to my local game store to back people's future proxies. Sipa? I don't know how to pronounce it. You might recognize this one because it featured on the edited video. Where I gave it better text than it currently has, and Andre thought that it was weak but plausible. And then when he saw just how bad it really is, he couldn't believe his eyes. Let me read this one out to you. The first time each turn you pass the outermost piece of ice protecting a server after fully breaking it, you may swap it with another installed piece of ice. So as long as the first ice you encounter during a turn is the outermost, and you can fully break it, you get a free swap. Potent. At the cost of only 2 MU and a credit. Which I'm sure is very reasonable to slot into your rigs that can also fully break things. Ooh, okay. Now I know there's a passionate community of read, write, share enthusiasts, so these actually fetch very good resale value to freaks and sickos who like shaper combos. Obviously competitively maybe not so much, but you know, it's a part of history, or it soon will be when I put out some more Magic Man videos, I can tell you that much. Oh, that's good. That's good. We want to see more of these. Again, the resale value to the shape of sickos. Mahir, you haven't seen Read Share do anything because I haven't let you see Read Share do anything yet. There will be more YouTube videos, and you'll see the card is slightly better than I thought it was. You just got to be like pretty creative in how you use it, but it actually is pretty useful. Like in the top tier decks of like deep dive lats and control maggies and like red crims of the world. No, it's not, but it's surprisingly useful for combo decks. And as combo decks get better with more cards being revealed, like released, I can imagine it being good in the future. And I think in the current versions, you should be considering it in some shaper lists, and you should be really like, I think it just is a Magic Man card. I think it makes that deck quite a bit faster. And there's the third. It's a hat trick. Now I heard you can sell these in sets of three, and people will buy them for extra. Ooh, Touchstone. I said that this was kind of another Mystic Mamie, and I'm not sure if I'm being proved right at present, but it's fine. It might be the best Shaper like stealth giving card that they release alongside their many stealth eating cards, which is very funny because like none of them are any good. They were all so bad. And like the best thing that they did, they printed stealth credits as this one, and it's in the faction that already has like mantle. So like it's fine, I guess. Are you ready? One for good luck. Everyone, one for good luck. This one's gonna be a legendary. I can feel it. I can feel it in my fingers. It's another touchstone. Of course it is. I haven't shuffled these properly. Okay, actually, it's time for corp cards. The people tire. The people tire of runner cards. We can assume that the rest of them are all probably legendaries. So let's jump over to my corp pile. Rather than shuffling to save myself administrative work later when I have to actually put these into the binder, I'm going to just pull them out at random, hey? Okay. You ready? Authentic NSG card back here. Whew! Now that's a legendary. This might be like the best card of the set. Let them dream. The nuts. I love this card so much. Genuinely, it might be the best card of the set. It's insane. It is as good as I thought it would be, and more. The on-score text has been actually better than I thought it would be as well. Ooh. Now, again, it's not a competitive card, but the niche community of people who like playing this sort of thing, you can juice the resale value on your reverbs because people like to put, you know, 30 harmonics in their deck. So they need like 9 copies of reverb to play with. God knows it's not good if you run an illegal amount of harmonics in your deck. Okay, okay. This I feel like this is a legendary like card, although it's not unique, which makes it maybe a little less legendary feeling. It's also kind of terrible, kind of astonishingly bad. Harmonics are Timmy cards, yeah, but that's okay. I like them. I think they're good vibes. They are. I've complained a lot about like keyword soups of like, oh, this card interacted with this card because it says its subtype in the text, and it's not really very interesting to me. But harmonics are kind of an exception to that. I quite like harmonics, even though they just like, oh, it interacts with this because it says harmonic on it. Well, yes, but also it interacts with it because there's like a feel and a thing that harmonics do. So I like the design of harmonics, but they are no good. If they were better, I would have no problem with it. But yeah, this card, however, If I have more Bioware dice? Well, you can't do that anymore because we made an ID that's completely busted with any half decent Biowars. This guy confused me. What cost would you guys start putting Lether in your deck? What credit value do you think is a reasonable one for this text? Because my thinking at the moment is like 6 would be really good, and I would start slotting it. And I would consider slotting it in at 7 in like Nebula. Exactly. And maybe nothing else. But yeah, this cost 9. I'm sure there was a story as to how it got there, but 9 is a lot of credits. And last one of the pack. This is how you know it's going to be a rare one. That's how it works. I actually don't play any games where you unbox cards except for Hearthstone, but look at that. Lotus Haze. And it's a shiny because it's reflective. Now, people have been telling me this is really good, so the stocks are crazy on it. This is probably worth, who knows, an insane amount, probably. No foils from the corpse so far. We can pull some more. Maybe we'll get a foil. We don't. Yeah, again, we don't have the NSG tables. They're not a transparent company. They don't let us know what the rates are for these types of things. More pulls. Whew! Hell yeah! Oh, this is for my collection. I'm not selling this one. Myoshu. One of the craziest cards. I have not done a video with Myoshu yet. I haven't played any real decks with him yet, but we'll get there. That's hype. Oh man. Play only if you scored an agenda this turn that you did not install this turn. It says this turn twice in one sentence. I didn't notice that the first time. That's very strange. Play only if you scored an agenda this turn that you did not install this turn. Add this operation to your score area as an agenda worth 2 points. Woo! Sick. Sick money. Ready? Big drops, let's go. Oh, yeah. Oh, we've hit some bangers with this pack. Holy. This is my favorite card. Flood the market. As an additional cost to play this operation, spend a click. Choose an install card you can advance. Place one advancement counter on that card for each remote server that has a card in its route and is protected by ice. It's so good. I've been having so much fun with it. This one I'm not selling. Except for maybe like a absurd price. But yeah, the market's going crazy on Flood the Market naturally. Ready for last? It's... Look at that. Subsurface Labs. This is... Someone said we could hope to pull Exodia. Well, this is a piece of Exodia, I can tell you that much. This and the other 2 parts of Malaya's form up the Exodia triangle. The Millennium Eye of Malaya's cards. Okay, those were some hype pulls. Having Malaya's as randoms and packs, you just can't pick archives until you find the archives one. Until you find the archives one, you just need to pick like HQ and R&D. If NSG really liked us, yeah, they would have random packs and Malayas would be distributed randomly amongst packs. But they don't take us seriously as trading card fans. It's unfortunate. It is. They don't know their audience. They think we just like consistency slop. No. We demand random pack openings. Okay, well that was fun. Let me go back into my not this one. Oh, this one. Yeah. Yeah, no foils though. What the heck? What the deuce? I should... Okay. Now I have a fun idea. I have a fun idea. Did I pull the collector's full art Miyoshi? No full arts. No full arts this time. Although I did notice that it came with this. It comes with this who we are. I don't think this is worth anything, but we got a who we are text wall, which tells us there's a hyperlink on it, but you can't click it because it's a physical thing. And also, it does have some text about something. Let me read it out. The increasingly populated moon affects the Earth in ways far less predictable than the tides. Volatile HE3 pulled from the regolith powers the future, while technology developed beneath the lunar surface could change life as we know it, or end it altogether if it falls into the wrong hands. Vantage Point is an expansion compatible with Netrunner. Play as runners, diverse hackers, fighting for truth, vengeance, or their very existence. Or corpse, burying some secrets while uncovering others not meant for the light of soul. The light of soul, that's very like sci-fi. It's not, I don't even know if that's like a cyberpunk thing. It's just like the light of soul. Referring to the sun as soul feels very sci-fi to me. There's people on the other side of this QR code in this card. There's people in my damned card. What will they think of next? Hold on, let me. Good Lord, you're right. There are people in this card. It brings you to the page that says breaking news, Vantage Point is out now. That's neat. Any other goodies in this pack of stuff? Let me see. Oh, there is. We got two goodies. We got a bad publicity fund card that we can dedicate. I guess this is to communicate the rules change that has happened. There's also some text on the back that explains. Bad pub, for those who don't know, bad pub used to just be like credits in your credit pool that like were actually weird credits that entered and exited when you started and ended runs. But now your credits in your credit pool are just credits in your credit pool. There's never text attached to them. And instead, bad pub credits get hosted in your bad publicity fund when you start runs, and then they disappear at the end of runs, kind of like overclock. Which matters for interactions like Afshar, which makes you lose 2 credits. But if you don't have 2 credits, it used to make you lose bad pub credits, but now you can use your bad pub credits to break Afshar and not lose them when you go through, which is good. But it counts badly for things like Valen Chow, which cares about how many credits the runner has, because bad pub credits used to count for that, and now they do not. So it's a good and bad change. In terms of like balancing it, for simplicity, it makes a lot of sense. I think just have them count as like credits outside the pool, and that's fine. And this card explains that, which is neat. Any other goodies in here? I think I spotted one. Oh yeah, the title card. We got the Underdome Irregulars art. Has anyone had any success with Underdome Irregulars yet? Because I have not felt like I want to put it in any like criminal decks, and I haven't tried Baz out yet. Maybe I could try Baz today. I have no problem with Baz. In revisiting System Gateway's lunar setting, we check in on a few familiar faces while witnessing new powers emerge. A prestigious university hiding terrible secrets, A rogue AI obsessed with detective stories. Is that what Vic is? Vic is a rogue AI obsessed with detective. I assumed that Vic was like a was a detective. Like that was his job. like like Vic is a program that was used for being a detective. I didn't think Vic was just like a rogue AI that randomly became obsessed with like classic noir detective stories. That's jarring and way less cool, isn't it? Maybe I don't know. Maybe that's a bad read on it, but that's strange. Because yeah, the vibe I got was that Vic had a purpose, and uh, like my headcanon is that Vic is a femme fatale that gained sentience. That could be true. I have no idea. Um, in my mind, Vic, and this is I go entirely off vibes of like the actual card. I do not read flavor text outside of like the card. I do not read the like articles that are written up, and I do not know Netrunner history. So I'm speaking authoritatively as someone with absolutely no reason to do so. Um, in my mind, Vic is like uh, a program that was, you know, used to like sick Vic onto a detective thing, like onto a case, and then it just solves it for you, like an automated, you know, case solver. I didn't think that it was a rogue AI obsessed with detective stories. That's feels quite jovial. Anyway, meanwhile, corporations are finding it that sometimes a little bad publicity is a small price to pay if it means securing victory. Good luck securing victory with the bad pub deck that I've been seeing. Not against me, I can tell you that much. Runners have discovered old tech and untraceable credits that can give them an edge when breaking into net fortresses. Corporations conduct dangerous experiments and runners arm explosives. Luna has become a powder keg. You're the spark. Runners have rediscovered old tech and untraceable credits. I guess that's referring to Hiram's backpack. Here is old tech, which is like a bunch of calculators. Um, Specifically referring to untraceable credits, I think is maybe pushing up against the metatextual bad pub credits. No, those must be stealth credits. Undetectable credits must be stealth credits. But yeah, I mean, my opinion is still that stealth credits don't make any thematics, like particular thematic sense to me. But whatever. We're putting the crime back into criminal and then includes a cop as a crim ID. Yeah, Vic is just not a criminal, right? Like Baz is a criminal. Um, Let me bring up NRDB if we're going to be talking about cards. Would be a thing that would make sense. One sec. Here we are. So I don't know. I don't know if I'm supposed to talk about like themings and flavor and stuff because I'm not that guy. But Baz, Barry Baz Wong. Okay, supposed to be Australian, I believe. Although there's nothing on the card that indicates that. Metatextually, he throws a lot of boomerangs. Uh, so he's Australian by that. But like, if he here's my the fact, okay, the cold hard fact that they don't want you to know. If he was Australian, he would not be Baz. Okay? He'd be Bazza. You would never let this name go unvoweled in Australia. Just not a thing. So he would be Barry Bazza Wong, and that would be fine. But this is a fundamental misunderstanding of Australian culture, which is very problematic and should be addressed. But like the text of him being evil goes a bit further than it, but just saying Trimath veteran, Trimath being like a gang. Because he's on a card. Unfortunately, the fact that this card sees 0 play probably doesn't do well for Baz's like image, but he's supposed to be evil and he's supposed to be like, this is him extorting people and like holding hostage, I guess, or like stuff to blackmail. My partner has a Baz alt art that's the same art, but the background is just Bazza. Hey, Bazza. See, it would be. And, you know, maybe, NSG, maybe get some Australians on your writing team, because, you know, they would catch that in a heartbeat. So yeah, Baz is evil. I believe there's also text on another card that's completely unplayable. Francophile Ward. He's here as well, and he looks relatively friendly in the image. And also the text: she's learned from the best. Me, when I retire, the KK Trimarth will be in good hands. So it's not really clear to me like how, like, he is textually a criminal, like he's doing criminal things. But he doesn't feel as mean as he probably should. Partially because like the cards that like Détente, which represents him being a bit mean and being criminal, is completely terrible. So like, you just don't physically think about it very much. Got Maglectric, that's a good shout. Maglectric Rapid. Let's have a look at what's happening on this card. Oh yeah, this is the best representation of him being badass, because that is him, yeah. Yeah, that's him. That's sick. That's a criminal. Vic is not a criminal. Vic is not a criminal. In fact, how many criminals do we have that actually are criminal? How do I search by IDs? Look at him. Like he looks extremely evil and badass. And it's a weapon. Go to factions. That's a good shout. Okay. Az is not a criminal at all. Baz is a criminal. Mercury, I don't know. Like, yes, she kills people, which is an evil thing to do. She has stabbed 3 people, and I think that's awesome. But also, it's like, wasn't that criminal? I mean, like, she did it in a way that, like, the Anarchs would also have done, right? Hello, Veronica. Nice to see you in chat. They? Is that true? Is that real? It was like in the same way that Anarchs would have. Yes, I think every runner is an Anarch. And I kind of wish they weren't all. Is okay? You learn something new every day. Everyone is a criminal by the law, of course. Yeah. So like, everyone is a criminal because they're doing something illegal. They're messing with corpse, which is why I think the criminal faction needs to be like actually evil. Like they need to be doing it for a reason that is both criminal. Well, this is just my opinion, obviously, but um, both criminal and also like not reasonable. Like they need to be making money off of this or having personal gain. Mercury thematically could have been an anarch, and it would have been like fine. I think. Um, I don't really remember what Muesli Hat's deal was. Mercury was a people smuggler. I don't know. Don't know anything about that. A scammer. I could vibe with scammer. I don't know how well communicated the scamming is. Muesli Hat writes bad Yelp reviews. Could be true. Uh, because yeah, peer pressure works. Okay. Muesli Hat has a bot farm. Okay, I need someone to contact Muesli Hat and get my views way up. This is essential anti-corporation activism. Okay, well, I think a scammer is a good include. I don't know if this was super clearly communicated through the cards that Muesli Hat scams people or and runs bot farms. Also, no hat on the card, true. I don't know. Yeah, I assume there's some like language thing about Muesli Hat's name because it always looks funny to me. Like, why is the A so small and the is it Muesli Hati? But I know that it's supposed to be pronounced Muesli Hat. Yeah, I mean, the best designs are of course the ones that are communicated clearly to me through just the thing that's face up on the page on the card. One woman marketing for Muesli Hat graduated top marks. She never expected to be rejected from her dream job at MBN. So she set up her own one-woman marketing firm using botnets. Meanwhile, competitors experienced scathing reviews. Max has a capital X, and I thought just yeah, Max is like just hardcore though. So like Max is a nickname. Was Muesli Hat? I assume was her government her government name. I mean, that could be wrong. Yes, thank you for the context, Veronica. Um, call me Muesli Hat because I be putting cereal on my head. Muesli Hat. This is how I feel playing Muesli Hat. I think the design, like the text on Muesli Hat, is the most boring of any runner. Full stop. I think it genuinely puts me to sleep. And I'm sorry to all the Muesli Hat enjoyers. I know that there are a lot of people who like love playing and building Muesli Hat. Genuinely, there is nothing less interesting to me than playing and building Muesli Hat. This was like a huge miss for me in Elevation. It's like the auto draw fits for a bot farm. I could see some thematic cohesion there. It gives you a clean getaway in hand every turn. Yeah, it does. And that's so lame. Like, Criminal already has a problem where all their cards are basically clean getaway slash sure gamble. And Muesli had is like, as long as you put every card that's clean getaway slash sure gamble in your deck, you just get to draw them and you don't even control your turn. Like, you just find out at the start of your turn whether or not you get one of the. You can show your opponent, oh look, I found another Bravado slash Clean Getaway slash Carpe Diem, all the same card, by the way. And then I just add it to my hand. So like, I not only is my deck really boring, but like I'm not even hiding it. All my cards do exactly the same thing, and I'm showing you because I put all the cards that do the exact same thing in my deck. I get to draw them for free. I don't even need to think about it. I don't even need to make decisions about that. I like you. Val was more boring than Muesli had. Val, you mean Vip? Vip plays more. I don't. I think Vic does not play more boring than Muesli Hat. I think Vic is much more interesting than Muesli Hat in terms of like Valencia. I do not know that one. The Corp starts the game with one bad publicity. Wow. 50 deck size, but that's probably fine for Anarch. That seems crazy, no? Am I losing it? That's insane. I've never played with this ID. I only started in like 2024-ish, 3 maybe. This is crazy, right? She was, but Mahir says. She was good, 50 deck size is quite the hindrance. Yeah. I mean, now we have like Price and Gachapon, so I am always like, you could probably go to 50 deck size with most Anarchs and you'll be fine. But this text is ridiculous. You built Val for another Anarch ID, and then you played Rebirth on turn 1. Okay, Rebirth is the one that gives you, like, changes your ID, right? Rebirth, switch your identity with another identity in the same faction, RFG. Okay, yeah, well, that just shouldn't be allowed, right? You should... That's stupid. She's only the second best Anarch ID in that box. You'll need to tell me what the other one was, because this was not. Click top left. Oh, Max. Yes. Well, this is genuinely the best ID text I've ever seen. I think. No. I mean, Woo is the best, but this is like, when I read this, I was like, there's no way that this wasn't the best possible thing you could be doing. And then people tell me that that is true. That this was like the best thing you could be doing. Was Max the best runner when this set came out? Or was there another runner that just like, by virtue of having a better deck to go with it, worked? Val came in the box with Max and Ed. I don't think Max was actually the best consistently. Val was more popular. I mean, they're both crazy good. I would, if these were legal today, I think, they would both be good. I don't think Anarch has like crazy rush strategies at the moment that like where Max would actually be as good. Whereas I think Valencia you'd be able to do pretty well. Although I'm not sure that Anarch needs credits all the time, but there are no conspiracy breakers, that's true. Mulches, yeah. So Max would probably be doing Chisel Charm. I would guess. And then you would run like Buffer Ashen, Chisels, Devil Charm, maybe Crew. Not sure about that. It'd be faster. It'd be good. Whereas Valencia would be vague. Like you would just run 3 Gachapon, 3 Price, and that kind of mitigates the 50 card deck. Andromeda was the one that drew extra cards at the beginning. I know Andromeda because I really like this design. We don't have anything at the moment that's like at the start of the game do this, which I think is a shame. I like the idea. I like the idea because it tells the table in a weird way that like this game does not last forever. It's the game is only so many turns because I feel like so many things are being quantified through this is how much it gives you every turn. And having any amount of things that are actually once per game effects tells you, no, the game is not infinite number of turns. And I think that's just kind of interesting. Andy is probably the favorite criminal ID. I mean, it seems good. Got a link as well. A link. Andromeda was just Desperado and Account Siphon. Yeah, I mean, this makes your like Boomerang, Account Siphon, Doof, whatever, like always hit, which is pretty sweet. And it was 1/5 of your deck at the start of the game. That's true. You get to see a lot. Rules question of Andromeda. How does mulliganing work? Do you get how many cards do I want to draw? Okay, so you get to see 9 cards and then you get to mulligan them all. Is that right? You don't like just draw 4 after. No, I guess you mulligan your starting hand. You don't mulligan 5 hands. So she mulls to 9. Okay, so you always have a Count Siphon. Like you never don't see a Count Siphon in your opening hand. That's funny. That's good stuff. I've got a question for you guys for my chat while you're here, and I'm going to chuck it on the GLC as well. What are the worst cards in Standard? And let's make a list. Okay, so we're not putting Smart Way Distributor on there. It's not even in contention. Smart Way Distributor is bad, but it's not in contention for the worst. Super Corrodor is not a bad shout. We've got someone saying Whistleblower. That's pretty reasonable. What else have we got here? Chrysophian Skimming. Some of these I'll have to read again because it's easy to forget just how bad certain cards are. Supercode is fine, just only for computers. It's probably better than skimming. The issue is that like it kind of competes with console slots, but I guess not everyone has good console slots. Supercode is actually fine only for combo corps. Yeah, you're sorry. I think you're thinking of Cinco Cyclotron, which is a terrible card, except for the fact that it actually works in one pretty good deck, so it doesn't count. We can't put it on the list. Superconducting Hub, not a contender either. It's bad, but it works with king making well enough that I could imagine actually making play into a deck. We're looking for cards that are so bad that like you see them in your binder and you're like, huh? They really did that? Ampere in the Syndicate? Syndicate I won't count because we're looking for standard cards. Mew Safe Hacker, I think is like, it's obviously not great. I think it's better than Abyssay. Is it decent? I don't know. It's like a breaker with like slightly worse numbers than other breakers. It's not the worst card in the game. Let me search it up. 2 cost, 1 strength, 1 MU. It breaks the code gate for 1 and 2 for 2 strength. Like that is baseline. Like you could put this in a deck and it would be fine. Your win rate would like barely change. The first time it's shown you fully break a piece of ice, you may trash a card in your hand to draw a card. You know, some people get excited by that text. It's not great. Nova is a better answer, because Nova's never going to work. Yeah, Nova's pretty bad. Nova's pretty bad. We're taking off Abyssay. It's too good. It's too powerful. Hyobu, good shout. Truly will never ever see play. Odore, I know, like it's bad. But like it's there's a world where Odore is like fine. You can play Hyobu in standard. Again, it don't. Like it literally doesn't do anything. It's you can play it. You can play any card. No, bring them home, I don't think so. Oh, it's pretty bad. But like it's all 2 influence, man. The fact this ends your action phase, hey. Threat 3, you may pay 2 to reveal 1 card. Okay, so it's... No, this is not... Yeah, Borehole is a better answer. Like, this does something. Like, maybe there's a world. But, like, it's pretty bad, obviously. But Borehole... This card, this is a legendarily bad card. This is a monster bad card. This is like, this could sweep the bracket. You're not thinking of Borehole as an ob card, though. Yeah, it could be a potent ob card. You could raise it for the full cost of 6, and then extract it. The Nihilist, I've put the Nihilist in a deck. The Nihilist has text. An artist is bad, but you could run it in a deck and it would be fine. It's like a slightly suboptimal. No, Shred wasn't in the world's winning list. Bling was in the world's winning list. But Shred is abysmal, but it's not as bad as all that. I mean, Borehole's one of the coolest cards in the entire game, and I'm very happy it exists. And you know what? I'm very happy it exists exactly as it does. This card does not need to be playable to be cool. It does not need to be remotely good. It's completely fine that this is just totally unplayable. That's fine. Doesn't bother me at all. Climactic Showdown. Now we're getting some good ones, because this card has... I've completely forgotten what it does. This will be a good inclusion in perhaps another like Do You Know Netrunner. By the way, I hope you guys enjoyed that Do You Know Netrunner with Andre. I had a lot of fun making that video, and it's doing well. I think a lot of people will see it. If you haven't already, it's way better than this live streamers. Go watch Andre and me chat. Although I apologize, my audio is terrible. But if you've already seen it, you can stay. Climactic Showdown. When your turn begins, remove this resource from the game. Choose a server protected by ice. The corp may trash one piece of ice protecting that server. If they do not, the first time this turn, you breach either R&D or HQ, access 2 additional cards. Wow. Wow. Thank you, Veronica. I'm glad you enjoyed. It has so many clauses. It's 5 influence. It's 5 influence. The corp chooses the ice. So it could be if you can't just like point to a big piece of ice and say destroy this or like get a powerful temporary buff. They could just be like, oh, I'll just get rid of the ping. Like that's fine. Your stuff doesn't bother me. Like, holy moly. And it's never a surprise either. This is the crazy thing. It's not an event, which, you could be mistaken for thinking that. It's a 2-cost unique resource. So there's no like gotcha moment with this card. Marjana's not in consideration. It's a consideration for being the worst factor. It's not in consideration for being the worst card. And Nanook might be the worst AI, but Nanook is also not that bad. There's a world where Nanook is good, by the way. I would be surprised if someone played Climactic Showdown. Don't get me wrong. Oh, should we build a Climactic Showdown deck? Do you think that gets YouTube views? Maybe. Maybe it does. Maybe it's so unknown that it doesn't even like pique people's interest. But like the corp can see this, completely react to it, and counterplay it. And the buff that you get is like, oh, you can play the Maker's Eye now. You can play the Maker's Eye. But man, you can play Maker's Eye. Okay, yeah, this is on the list for sure. Now it does give multi-access, which is a genuine win condition. So there's a world where it doesn't win the bracket, but yeah, it does not compare well to finality, that's for sure. It does not compare well to leg sweep. Not leg sweep, tailgate either. What else? What other suggestions have we got here? I've never seen Makler see any amount of play, but I don't think it's like that bad. Like Marjana is a 0-cost card. You can't even consider that being back up to 2. That's a really annoying subroutine count, but that's fine. 2 for 2 is annoying, but maybe fine. Cost 5 is a lot, hey? It's really not the worst thing you can do. Kuopio costs 3, which makes it better than this. But if this costed 3, I would maybe play it over Kuopio in some metas. Dirt Eater was not especially good. That is 100% true. But it was also not like that bad. And I've been running Marjana and things that perhaps shouldn't even see the light of day. I could make a YouTube video out of it. I built. Oh my god! Should I show this? I should. No one tell, but this is the best deck in Netrunner, and I built it last meta, quite early on. Where's my? Here we are. You want to see a potent deck that runs some Marjanas? Just read it. Read it and weep. I'm doing shit in this game you can't even imagine. Oh, the look on your face. Oh, it's sad to see. Sad to see. Look at you guys putting it together. Just constructing just each little puzzle piece getting fitting into place as you scroll down this genius. It's too good. It's too good. You guys don't get it, but that's fine. This deck is blingy as it is a very strange deck. The idea is you just like immediately draw and trash pretty much your entire deck using a combination of bling, zero cost cards like Marjana, Stone Ship, Wizard's Chest, um, all that sort of nonsense. And like even your nukers and things cost zero. You also have Prognostic Q Loop, so you can store it on your opponent's turn as well. And you can also double dip on as value on your opponent's turn. So you just either install or trash everything. And then you just like do 3 Jotinyos immediately. Obviously, it takes 3 turns to do the 3 Jotinyos, but you do have like bypasses. You've got Phycerums that you can get out, which trigger your blings, and you can get them off of the Q loop, and then you bypass, and then you install the Jaichino, and then you bling. Crazy stuff. Anyway, it wasn't very good, obviously, but it runs Smartware Distributor as a one-off because it needs a little bit of tick money that doesn't require any interaction, and it's a zero cost card that triggers bling. It also runs Marjanas. The Magnetic Wrappers don't really need to be here. It just means that the corp has to have a lot more money than they otherwise would. And it triggers as, it triggers bling. It's fine. You can get it out with the prognostic. Anyway, that was a crazy tangent. What were they talking about again? Mackler? No, I don't think Mackler makes it onto the list because it's, we're already at the dregs, right? Whatever we put to the list needs to compete with like Hyobu, Super Deep Borehole, and Climactic Showdown. Have you tried the YouTube bait that is Chain Reaction Mercury yet? See, there's the responsibility that every creator must face, which is like, how low do we go? Because whatever I post, it's like a percentage of people who like think that that's good, like think that that's a reasonable thing to be doing, and it's hard to communicate in a fun way that like your deck is just terrible. Because like obviously you want to make the video fun and interesting to watch. I'll consider doing a chain reaction Mercury. I should try chain reaction in our deck because I think people do want to see it, and maybe I need to show people why I think it is. It's not going to make the list of the worst cards in Netrunner, but it is absolutely abysmal. Cordyceps has been suggested. I don't even know how to Cordyceps. What do you do again? Oh, I forget about this guy. Oh, this is a good one for Do You Know Netrunner? Alarm Clock's really good. So I'm not even going to suggest that. Capybara is pretty bad, but there's a world where Capybara becomes okay. Alarm Clock's good. Alarm Clock's straight up like not a bad card at all. Cordyceps. When you install this program, place 2 virus counters on it. When you make a successful run on a central server, you may remove one hosted virus counter to swap one piece of ice protecting that server with another installed piece of ice. Use this ability only once per turn. Is it crazy to say that this is better than Sipper? Laser pointer's not that bad. There's like fully a meta where laser pointer is a consideration. Um, oh, I could change so many numbers on quarter. I bet I could make this two strength. I say two cost. I bet I could change it, like remove virus and change it to power counters. I bet I could change it to 3 influence. And I bet I could remove the once per turn, and he still wouldn't get it. MU Safecracker is worth considering on the list of bad cards, and also ones for Do You Know Netrunner. Safecracker is definitely a good one for Do You Know Netrunner because there's a lot of things I can change. Who should my next guest be? Is there anyone you guys want me to like? I've already got an idea in my head of who I should be inviting to the next episode, and in fact, I've got an invitation out to someone already. But do you guys have any community requests for who you think would be a fun Do You Know Netrunner participant? I'm curious as to what the vibe is. You say for her, like, okay, so I think this is really bad, but I don't think it's. Maybe it is. Maybe it is. Maybe it is. Maybe it is. I'll chuck it on the list, and you guys can help me vote through it. Where are we? Yeah. Cordyceps, but Loki Cordyceps better than Sipper. Not much of a content creator, but there's a fine lady named Veronica who makes articles and did a few videos. I don't know if I've seen your videos, Veronica. I've read your articles and some of them are very good. I really appreciate them. I said some of them are very good as if they're not all good, but I've only read some of them, so I can only attest that some of them are good. Yeah, I'll be keen. JK is not in contest for the worst card. Lucy, I'm sorry, but there were some good players who were seriously trying to make Synapse work in a Glacier deck last meta, and the value options in NBN was so bad that they were unironically putting JK on a Tranquility home grid, and that was their Glacier payoff. That was their Lacosta Charlotte equivalent. Ooh, the entirety of rigging up. You guys, you make good videos, and they deserve more attention. They deserve more views. We can work on that. That's a good idea. That's a really good idea. Yeah. Okay. Noted. Veronica's keen. Rigging up is keen. I mean, it's influence, right? It's influence. You got a lot of things you want to put in your Synapse deck. Like, I think the idea was that you run like 3 end of the lines, and then other than that, you need you need to play and win with NBN, which is tough because NBN doesn't have any real cards. A problem that was not fixed. No, they got Flood the Market. That's a real card. Any other absolute stinkers? Should I grab my binder and like physically flip through some? Um, how do I scroll through all of standard? NBN has one. Well, the thing is, Oppo Research doesn't actually do anything either. NBN's like Oppo Research is also a fake card because NBN doesn't actually have the cards to kill you off of it. So it's just more nonsense. NBN is like nonsense all the way down at the moment. Yes, Flood the Market is 3 influence, meaning that it is actually not an NBN card either. The only NBN card that does anything is not an NBN card. Also, Hollow Man's also 3 influence, which means it's also not an NBN card. And it's like, yeah, as good or better outside of faction. It's sad. It's a sad state. I haven't had an NBN deck that I've enjoyed playing in quite a while now. Go to Advanced, choose Standard from the card pool, and switch to Viewers Images Only. Advanced. Sort by... Is it rotation? No. Standard from the card pool at the bottom. Rotation. I guess with this 7th rotation, ban list, this one, view as full cards, search. We can just let this play while we chat, and you guys can let me know if anything. Amelia Earhart. To be serious for a second, I think that NBN has some pretty good cards. It's just that it gets just destroyed by a lot of the best runners by accident. Seb, Lou, Vic all just hate NBN. I don't think that's the issue, to be honest. Like, Reg Hosh also destroyed any kind of Glacier NBN deck, any kind of scoring NBN deck. There's no world where Amelia ever becomes playable, I don't think. Unless some very bizarre cards are printed. Because you have to access 3 or more cards 3 times. That means you have to be doing 9 accesses after installing Amelia. That's almost enough just to win the game off sheer numbers. Because that's not like, that's 12 accesses just out of centrals. That's often what you need to win the game anyway. So you're putting this card in your deck saying that if you haven't already won the game by that point, you get this benefit, which could be a nice benefit. But Jarchinio cost, like, sorry, not Jarchinio, Mag Electric Rapid costs 1 and can sap almost as many credits in like ideal circumstances. And this is very much like a, you could charge it, I guess, but like this is such a bad charge target, I feel. Because again, seeing 3 cards, like Shaper, which has the best charging cards, doesn't want this. Like, it's so hard to get 3 accesses. I guess we're in a higher access count meta now that we have Let Them Dream. That's true, but like, you know, we also have Flagship, and that just turns off your chance to see more than 3. Like, it's, if your twinning is ready to go, and the easiest way to see 3 cards multiple times is twinning. Second to that is Shaper. Neither of those strategies care about Amelia. Once they're set up, they should just be winning off of those accesses. And they should be putting their cards and resources towards pursuing that game plan, breaking the ice and getting in. This is not like a win condition that hammers at home. It just sucks. But is it in contention for the worst cards? I feel like I would say it's like down there, but I couldn't honestly say that it's worse than Borehole. And I don't think the viewers at home would accept that Amelia is like that bad. So we'll keep going. Ampere. Chat, is Ampere better than Nova or not? Tell me, and I will believe you. I've tried playing Nova, and I found them to be not as bad maybe as people think, but pretty bad. But that was before rotation. They're substantially worse now because there's less cards. So there's a less premium, like a smaller pool of premium picks to go for. But I played Reg Nova in pre-rotation, and it was like, it was obviously bad, but it was, I won games with it. Being able to run all the one-offs, like all the limit 1 per decks, is really good. Being able to run a load of 1-pointers is kind of good. I could imagine Ampere being better because it actually offers you some good agendas, and sometimes people like decks struggle just because they don't have good agendas, and Ampere does not have that problem. They just have every other problem. So I'm not going to put Ampere on the deck, on the list. You guys all have nice weekends? Anyone do anything interesting? Is Argus Crackdown bad? Argus Crackdown's pretty bad, but it's not the worst. Here's one. Has anyone ever run Asbun Podlar in any deck or even considered doing so? Oh, played Blood on the Clock Tower. How delightful. I'm sure that one of your games was very well run by a talented and handsome storyteller. You ran Asmund in a knives deck. Really? It was good enough to draw knives. Can pull conduit. Ugh. Ugh. Fine. I played Asmund recently, but that's because I returned to the game and misunderstood that Chisel and Crew do not actually combo. Yeah, Chisel doesn't combo with anything except for exactly Devil Charm, I think. And I guess Tungsten Tailor works too. But every time people think that something combos with Chisel, it doesn't. And I wonder if they regret putting the text on encounter because it is so awkward with so many cards that get printed that like people think, oh great, I'll put this with Chisel, and then someone needs to explain to them and let them down easy. No, there's weird text on that card. You're not allowed to do that. Ballista's pretty bad, right? But sometimes there are no sentries. But sometimes there are any sentries. Ballista's pretty bad. Chisel did come with null. Devil Charm and ID. Was Parasite that oppressive? Maybe. I don't know. I did play with Parasite because it was in the core set that I played with. But yeah, it wasn't oppressive when I was playing with it. I didn't really have the cards to support it like that. Also, I'm going to change my camera positioning a little bit if it's all the same to you guys. One moment. We're going a little off the top. I'm shrinking. Ballista sees play in Eternal. What? What are you saying to me? What are you saying to me? Why? Why? Okay, I'll bite. Why does it see play in Eternal? Explain. Okay, Jai plays in Eternal. Okay, that's a big difference. That's a big difference. I'm growing. Look at that. Okay, that's better. I guess it's a sentry within the run. Have I ever seen the card Tour Guide? I've never seen the card Tour Guide. Tour Guide gains end of run for each res asset you have. Wow, that's a weird card. What the hell is he? That's very strange. Rules question. If someone fully breaks subroutines and then you res more assets, are you allowed to do that? You are, right? I think that's in the paid ability window. You're allowed to res assets after the run of break subroutines. Can you add end the runs to this? You can't res stuff during encounters. Okay. That's like the one thing that you can't do during encounters, right? There's no paid ability window. You can do some things during encounters, can't you? you can use cards that have already been rezzed. So you could, yeah, if you had Mav and a Sphigator in a remote server, you could pop Mav to go and create another server and then add an end run to it this way. Or even because Mav is an upgrade, you could always just, as long as Mav was res when you res this guy, you could wait for them to break the end runs and then go and create another one. Is that right? How does that work? I guess the priority just goes back to the runner and they can choose to break more subroutines. Or is it that they can re-break before you fire them? Is that right? Okay, that makes sense. Okay, cool. Not a super important question, but just a curiosity. Banner's pretty bad, but like people were trying this in Rio, right? I can't imagine anyone had any success with it, but it's not. I don't think it's in contention for the. Thank you for the detour. People will yell at me if I point out that Basilar is one of the worst because they don't understand. They don't understand how bad it is to have that small of a hand size and to lose that much tempo in an early time. The Thonimus is pretty bad, but no one's gonna believe that either. Beta build is pretty crap, but exactly the knick-knack Orca situation saves it. The numbers on this card are like so dire. Yes, thank you, Thalamal, for giving me an excuse to make fun of everyone again for insisting that it was now playable now that Maggie was around. As if Maggie has any synergy with a small hand size, or core damage, or an extra click. Like, literally none of those things are useful for Maggie at all, but for some reason a new ID came out and everyone just had collective psychosis and decided we must play Basilar Synth Gland in this. It literally says hardware on it. You have to put Basilar Synth Gland in it. It's like, no, you don't do that. Just put normal cards in what is clearly just a value ID. Just put normal cards in. But everyone was insisting to me, including good players, saying no. Bob, you have to open your mind. You always run Basilar and Maggie because it's so easy to get to 4 cards. It's so easy to overdraw when you have so few cards in hand. Yeah, it is so easy to overdraw when you have so few cards in hand. It's just really annoying to play. It's not the reason it's bad is not measured response, London. The reason is going to 4 cards in hand is not harder than going to 6 cards in hand. It is a hardware, so you do get to install off your Maggie click, but that does not give you the click any earlier or offer you any discount that you wouldn't get on other hardware at all. Like ending the turn on, I'd say ending the turn on 4 cards in hand is harder than ending the turn on 6 cards in hand. Because on 6 cards in hand, you have more cards and more options to structure your turn in a way that naturally ends. Like you're more likely to have a ritual in hand. You're more likely to have a nuka in hand. You're more likely to have multiple things you want to discard, so you can end on 7 and it's fine. You don't play it to make it easier to end the turn on +1. You play it for +1 click, and you are less inconvenienced by the -2 hand size. Yeah. Well, the -2 hand size sucks. It is really bad, but the more reason is like you have to play it, and when you play it, you lose 3 cards off the rip. And like it takes a long time, a lot of drawing to recover from the fact that you played Basilar Synth Gland. It takes multiple turns worth of clicks. So even if you play it on turn 1, getting back what you just lost in terms of hand advantage takes ages, and it's bad for that reason. Anyway, More tangents. I'm not counting the harmonics packages amongst the worst. Boitata is not the worst. This card sucks, but no one's gonna believe me that it is. But you will all learn. You will all put. You will slot 3 borrowed goods in your garbage Vic decks, and then you will one by one cut them. Ruby Diesel is very bad, but I can't, in good faith, count this as being like the worst card in the game. How do I feel about 3x Cyclotron winning Apex Showdown? That's spoilers because I haven't finished that video. I suspect that is wrong though. I suspect that like 1 Cyclotron is probably the right number. But that is very funny, and I'm very happy to see anything being won with I assume it was a Flood the Market deck. That's really cool. But yeah, I will finish watching that. Was it a PD deck or was it poetry? I suppose it would be PD. It's not. No, there's no way 3x is correct. But I don't believe that. PD, yeah, okay. Well, I'll give it a go. No. I'm kidding about spoilers. I want to try playing that deck. Maybe after this. I give it a go. I should watch the games first, of course, but you know, I have time for that later. These are all good cards. Don't want to see Basilia. There's a time and place for things like that. Bring them home. Maybe a time and place. Probably not. Cacophony's bad, but the people cope. Capybara is an expensive D-Res, but also maybe there's a world. Carnival's utility, there's a world. Chain Reaction, there's probably no world. Charm Offensive, Charm Offensive, there's probably no world, but like it's also, if you were to include it in a deck, not the worst thing you could be doing. Climactic Showdown, this was a good shout. Well done. I think it was Lucy who got that one. I could be wrong, but that well done on that. Complete Image sucks, but like it's not the worst. Cordyceps is so bad, hey? Anyone else have any shoutouts before I put these things together into like a bracket? Complete Image is cool. It is a cool card at the very, very least. How do I do like head to head bracket maker? Challenge. I've used to play with Challenge in Smash tournaments, like the budget ones that for some reason wouldn't use the proper Smash tournament websites. Single elimination. I would like to be able to have like pictures as well, but you can't do everything. We're going to randomize seeds. Okay. And that's just going to be my job to bring them up as they come up. So first up, we have Super Corroder versus Nova. Is it Super Corroder? Super Corridor. Versus oh, What do you guys think? I'm just going to grab a glass of water while you guys ponder. It's going to be... Yeah. I think, to me, there's a pretty clear answer as to which of these is like a stronger card. And I don't feel the need to provide you any like specific definition as to what I'm calling, like which is stronger, which is weaker. But yeah, I am very curious. What do you guys think is the weaker card, which is the weaker Netrunner card that you consider it less likely that it will see play in a good deck? And if you were to make a deck with it, that deck would also be worse for it. I'm just going to grab a glass of water while you guys discuss. Be back in a sec. I've considered playing Nova. I forgot Super Corridor even exists. Well, one of them's more forgettable because it's not an ID. None of the IDs are like infinitely forgettable, right? Because they're kind of cool. Like, it's a different thing. Oh, I have some suggestions from the DLC as well. Let me quickly have a look if there's anything worth adding to the bracket. Okay, so we've got someone saying cordyceps. Yep, that's in the list. Whistleblower, I added to the list. Lethea. The first time the runner approaches this server during each run, play a side game. If the bids differ, trash the upgrade. If you do, the runner moves the outermost position of the server and may jack out. Oh, so it's like a bad size. Or it's like a very similar Adrian size, I guess. I mean, it's a slightly worse Adrian size is not in contention for the worst in the game. Adrian size is a serious card. Macla suggested, I don't really buy that. Game Over suggested, I don't buy that either. Super Deep Borehole and Whistleblower get another shout out. Public Health Portal. And Storgotic Resonator. Oh my god, these cards, man. When the turn begins, reveal the top card of R&D and gain 2 credits. Wow, yeah, that is pretty bad. I think I've read that before, but not in a long time. Also, I'm aware you guys can't see this Discord, so you just have to believe me, but catch up off chat. People forget about the Ashes Corpse. Yeah, definitely. Heard that poetry was nerfed in testing because Super Corridor Shaper couldn't beat it. So you have that one to blame for poetry's flaws. There's no way that's true. I don't know that much about the testing process, but I do not believe that Super Corridor Shaper was the reason it is the way it is. That is rage bait, and I will not engage. Okay, Public Health Portal, really bad. I would say not in contention. Storgotic Resonator. The first time each turn you trash a runner's card that matches the faction of the runner's identity, plays a power counter. How bad is this? It needs to be face up for a long time, hey? It's pretty bad. But yeah, I mean, if Alco wasn't doing it, then it's not great. Hyobu shouted out, Complete Image shouted out. I don't think any of these need to be super added to this pool of things. So we'll keep going as it was. Um, so what do you guys think? Super Corridor, Nova. I want hot takes. I want your honest, unfiltered opinions. Yeah, Storgonic's probably not that bad. Yeah, you're right. You could probably use it similar to Reaper Function. Like, it's not optimal, but it's fine. You could do it. It's a pretty bad way to get damage because just like clicking for it. But maybe if you're like, you know, you res it and you to duck for 2 bladder warts, and then you hit 2 cards, and then you do another 2 damage with Storgotic. It's like, okay, that's fine. Super Corridor's worse by a mile. Nova's fine. You get every yeah. I think with enough cards, Nova becomes like a bad ID, but a good deck. At the moment, I think it's both a bad ID and a bad deck. But like with a big card pool, this could be good. Whereas this will never not be outclassed. It does say +2 MU and +1 hand size, and both of those are actually pretty good text in certain metas and extremely slow metas. Like 2 MU. How hard is it for some factions to get 2 MU? Well, people playing Nova are not Super Corridor because this isn't actually that fun. Like, this is not no one is like, oh wow, oh that's you're so cool for playing Super Corridor. Whereas if someone sees Nova, they're like, oh yeah, dude, Nova, that's sick money. No one cares if you're playing Super Corridor. It's just like a bad console. Whereas Nova is pretty bad, but you'll get like social capital, which is what it's all about at the end of the day. Yeah, this isn't the faction that has Lilypad. Is Lilypad more influence or not? I actually don't know. Lilypad's 3. So if you desperately needed the 2 MU and you liked the extra hand size. But yeah, it's just bad. Okay, so people think Super Corridor's worse than Nova. I am completely fine with that opinion. How do I tournament bracket? How do it's giving me a grabby hand. Claim this tournament by creating an account. Okay. Okay. Now I can single stage tournament. Oh my god. Save and continue. The game or sport being played? Netrunner. Android Netrunner has it listed. How's that? I don't want to put a start time on it. Today, 5:51. Save and continue. Super Corridor continues. How do I report results? Start the tournament. Okay, welcome to the bracket of the worst cards in the game. Of these, how many are runner cards? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 runner cards, and 1, 2, 2 corp cards. Is that interesting? You guys surprised by that ratio? Maybe not. First off, we can report scores and we can say that people thought that Nova was better than Super Corridor. No, I should be ranking them by worst. Submit scores. Super Corridor progresses and we can... The memes live on. Now, round 2. Hyobu versus Chrysophian Skimming. Let me bring up the... Chrysophian Skimming. And... Was it Hyobu was the other one, yeah? That's how you spell Hyobu, apparently. Become larger. Firefox is just, it's just not good, is it? Anyone notice this? Okay. Camera's probably covering some of this, but that's fine. You don't need to see artwork. Chrysophian Skimming is worse, so let me read them out. Hyobu Institute. An identity. How could an identity be bad? You could put good cards in here if you wanted to. The first time each turn you reveal a card, gain a credit. And that could be your cards or the runner cards. Premium, man, premium. Click, reveal a card from the grip or at random from the top of the stack. You could always land your... What's the stupid card? Complete images. You'll nail them every time. Chrysophian Skimming, on the other hand, there's also a 45-15 identity when this reads so much like it will be have like the smaller deck size, but no. Chrysophian Skimming has some cool artwork on it, unlike Hyobu's, which I don't really like. Event, 1 cost, 1 influence. You could play this anywhere, guys. You can play it anywhere. The court may reveal an agenda from HQ. If they do, gain a click and draw a card. You just launder your credit into a card draw. That's considered good. That's considered good value. Otherwise, look at the top 3 cards of R&D, which, as we know from Hiram's rampant success, knowing the top cards of R&D is basically a guarantee to win. It's like, how do you lose? Tell me how you lose if you know the top 3 cards of R&D. You just can't. You just can't. I can tell you this is not card 50-something. This is card like 70-something. And I'm not joking. But Hyobu is card nothing. Like if Hyobu was blank, it would not be like the best Hyobu deck is probably like you just run Glacier and you run no cards that synergize with it at all. And you just play like that and just say that hopefully Lacosta Charlotte is the best thing you can do. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what metric I can fairly say that either of these is worse because I would. Okay. I think someone could be seriously trying to build. I've always felt like it would be almost decent in ESSA. HQ is tiny, so showing an agenda is going to be scary, and showing R&D tells me whether to Sabo now or later. And a 0 to play with Ghost Star. It is a one influence event, which makes it free. We're doing Trash or Busto. We are doing which is worse. We are trying to find the weakest. We're trying to find which of these is more garbage because they're both obviously like garbage. But you know, which would we be more surprised to see at Worlds? And you know what? If I put it like that, which of these would I raise my eyebrows at more to see at the top cut at Worlds? It's actually Hyobu. Because Hyobu does nothing at all, but it does nothing at all every game, and it's your ID. Whereas Christophian Skimming does nothing, but you might not draw it at all. And if you don't draw it, if it's the bottom of your deck, you're kind of fine. You're kind of chilling. And if you do draw it, maybe it's the one time in the world where you need Christophian Skimming. Whereas Hyobu, you never need Hyobu. How do you guys feel about giving this one to? Christophian Skimming is the stronger card here because you might not draw it, whereas Hyobu, you always draw it. And the opportunity cost is higher. Is that crazy? I think I just heard my fiance arrive home, so I'm gonna go say hello to her. You guys can discuss amongst yourselves for a quick moment. I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. I'm back, everyone. Sorry. I need to find some Subway Surfers to keep you guys entertained. What's been said? Skimming punishes you 1 credit. Hyobu punishes you every turn. Correct. Oh, so yeah, Mr. Faust, you missed the context for that title. It's YouTube, so you should be able to scrub back and go to the like near the beginning of the stream. I did my unboxing of my beautiful Vantage Point cards, which you can see. I got some real bangers in here. Some rares, some shinies, some foils. But we've moved on. This is a live stream. We don't play by the rules here. We have a little fun with it. So now we're doing a. I don't know. Can I change my titles midway through? I have no idea whether I can do that. I could try. Maybe in the Creator Studio, which is being presented to me. Maybe I can change it here. I can get my URLs. I can see my engagement numbers. Neat. Hello, everybody. I don't know. I don't know if I can change my title. Maybe it just can't be done. But whatever. Yeah, we were cracking boosters. We were cracking boosters. It's stronger because you might not draw. It's a scathing review of the card. Yeah, I think it might just mean not be fair because like then the bad IDs are all gonna rank so poorly. But I think there are some cards that can contest. So I don't think anyone's gonna have any problem with me saying that Hyobu is worse than Chrysophenian skimming. So let's do that. Let's lock it in. Who are you? Yeah. Chrysophenian skimming. Well done, Hyobu. Doing great. And they progress. Now we have Cordyceps versus Whistleblower. Comparing two runner cards is probably easier because it's like to like a little bit. Like these are both competing for your slots in some very bizarre runner deck of the future. These are competing for deck slots in a deck that you can't even imagine. Which is worse? So the worst is Whistleblower, right? Like, I don't think this is close. Someone convinced me to put more thought into this rather than just like snap picking Whistleblower. Because, I mean, let's think about it for a sec. So Whistleblower, when you make a successful run, you may trash this resource to choose a card name. Cost 2, by the way, and is an influence to everyone. The next time this run you access an agenda with the chosen name, steal it, ignoring all costs. You're no longer accessing it. So this does not work against Bangoon, right? Like, Bangoon's got the hardest punishment in the game for touching your agendas, and it doesn't work against it. And it also doesn't turn off measured response or oppo. It beats Bangoon. It beats Bangoon. Does Cordyceps beat Bangoon? Riddle me that. Riddle me that. Does Cordyceps beat Bangoon? No. Cordyceps gets bodied by Bangoon. Beats NAPD Cordon? Yup. Absolutely true. Beats Fuji Asset Retrieval. Beats Train. Beats Daniela? Situationally, yes. No, not situationally. It just straight up ignores Daniela's text, yeah? If you can guess exactly what agenda it was. Oh my god, Fuji's on steel, not an additional cost, you're right. So it literally just beats Train and SDS? Oh, it's diabolical. It's so bad. Is there any world where, like, it's so important to take Train away from Leo that you run Whistleblower? Cordyceps only works on central servers. Did you guys notice that? Cordyceps only works on HQ R&D archives. Now, a lot of the time you want to be swapping things like onto and off of archives, so it beats Magistrate. Whistleblower beats Magistrate. Now, it isn't, you know, maybe I could have just saved the money that I spent installing the whistleblower. And guessing the agenda is also really hard. I don't know. Okay. So Cordyceps is the better card. So Whistleblower moves on in the bracket. Like, there were a lot more reasons. Okay, can I be honest? Yes, Whistleblower is the worst card at the moment. I would rather run Cordyceps in my decks. But it is easier to imagine a world where I play Whistleblower than Cordyceps. I think. Because, like, you know, we don't have Bologna anymore. But yeah, Whistleblower should give you in when you put it in your deck. Cordyceps is full influence. So you literally can't play it outside of Shaper, basically. But and they have power crept Cordyceps a bit with Sipper, which is like just probably easier. If Whistleblower didn't cost influence, you would consider it as a tech card, not before you would consider direct access, I don't think. For the most part. But like, you're right, I could imagine a meta. I could imagine a world where Whistleblower is like a decent include because there's some really oppressive combo. Or like there's some combo that is so prevalent, which Whistleblower completely turns off. Whereas I cannot imagine a meta where Cordyceps is the thing to do. You probably shouldn't, but you could imagine a meta where you could. Whereas Cordyceps, you shouldn't, and you cannot imagine a meta where you could. So, but like, it just doesn't feel right to put Cordyceps through the bracket and not put Whistleblower through. Whistleblower, the text is so garbage. I'm going to say that Whistleblower, the text is just worse. Like, it's just a worse power level card, even though it maybe has a niche. It feels right to my soul for Whistleblower to win this round. Okay, now we have a banger. Now we have a good one. Super deep borehole versus climactic showdown. This is a climactic showdown right here. What we're doing live right now. I've never seen content like this. Okay. So, Super Deep Borehole, 6 cost asset, costs 6 to trash. How can it be bad? Surely, like, no matter what text you put on this, it has to be good, basically. Because it costs 6 to trash. Well, let me tell you, it's illicit. Not anymore? Question mark? Because they released an article saying that everything that was illicit is now a liability, I think. That could be not true, but I think this text is outdated. I think this is now a liability. I could be wrong about that. But whatever. Just the worst change I've ever heard of anyone making in a card game, by the way. Not at all remotely true, but I'm going to say it. When you raise this asset, load 6 bad publicity on it. When it's empty, you win the game. You win the game. It costs 6 to trash and it wins you the game. How could it be bad? When your turn begins, you just take one of the bad publicity from the asset. Awesome. The keyword change was definitely a choice. Total disaster. Let me find it. Let me find the culprit that did this, because they're calling it the most inelegant thing to ever disgrace my eyes. This guy? Tell me this isn't a keyword soup. The first time each turn you take a bad publicity, you may search R&D for one non-agenda Black Ops, Grey Ops, or liability card and reveal it. To be clear, this can fetch Super Deep Borehole. Now you're thinking, huh? But Super Deep Borehole isn't Black Ops, Grey Ops, or liability. Well, you're wrong. It is. Because they for no reason at all decided that one word was more thematic, removed illicit, added liability to it, and did not tell you that anywhere in the material here, as far as I can see. Unless I misread that bad pub card, which might have mentioned it. So if you receive your copy of Vantage Point, know that this card doesn't say what it says it does, and it does say something else. For no reason. Like, the cards were already labeled in a way that made sense. Like, yeah, like, editorial division could have simply said illicit. But they said, no, we're redoing it. We're running it back. Crazy. But that's not Super Deep Warehole's fault. Super Deep Warhol is innocent and delightful. Climactic Showdown. These are both 5 influence, by the way. The main issue is that illicit is translated as illegal in a lot of languages, and putting illegal on a card that represents a human person is a pretty bad look, i.e. Luana. I've just tank it. It's fine. Like, if it's a translation thing, okay. Like, I don't think that's worth messing with everything about, to be honest. I guess I get the point that they're making, but man, just who cares? Climactic Showdown, 2-cost resource. When your turn begins, remove this resource from the game, because God forbid you occur this. Choose a server protected by ice. The corp may trash one piece of ice protecting that server. If they do not, the first time this turn, you breach either R&D or HQ access to additional cards. Hopefully no one plays ED, so I don't have to think about the change ever. I agree. I think it's a shame for an ID to see no play, but I think this ID kind of does nothing interesting to me either. Like, the best deck out of it is probably just like Oppo End of the Line Merchant, which is like, you can already do that out of any MBN ID. Just showing me that you're drawing Oppo End of the Line is not particularly interesting. It does make all the bad pub cards substantially better, and like maybe you actually get to see them hit the table, but I still think it loses to almost everything. So I probably won't see much play, like seriously, but people will play it because it's a new ID and it's not that bad. It's not like Hyobu, right? It doesn't do nothing. It just does something that will lose you the game, but that's better than doing nothing. There were going to be so many judge calls until Elevation votates because of the keyword change. Yes, except for the fact that, like, I think if you're coming to a tournament with a editorial division deck, you've probably, like, the only way you can interact with editorial division, and the reason why I consider the design to be so poor, so bad, is that the main way that you interact with editorial division is you go to NRDB and you search up what cards it works with before you do any kind of thinking about like why you're doing what you're doing. Because, like, what are you going to do? Flick through your binder? Not really, right? It lists 3 different keywords. No, 4 different it lists bad publicity and then 3 different subtypes. Like, how am I supposed to interact with this? I mean, am I supposed to like be a creative deck builder? Like, as says hardware and connections. It's very easy to find hardware and connections. I just flick through my binder and look at my hardware, and then look at my resources and sort all the connections. They're pretty easy to see. They look like people. And then, yeah, this one's good. This one's good. I like this one. Take them all in the deck, no problem. There's no way to do that with editorial division You just have to Google it. You just have to look it up. And that's very cringe, I think. And if you're doing that, then you're not going to get caught out by the keyword changes. You're going to be confused if you didn't read the article, but like the internet will like guide you because this is a ID that just demands that you look things up on NRDB. It doesn't. No one's going to play outside of that use case. But yeah, if you are showing up to tournaments with a deck that you built at home out of your binder, you probably just won't include the old ones because you won't be aware of this change, and you'll just include the new cards. It's going to create a situation where new players are going to see someone fetch a card with illicit and not know about the keyword change. Yes, possibly true, except for the fact that I don't actually believe anyone reads their opponent's cards like that. If your opponent says, I take a bad pub, I search for Luana, Campos, and put it to my hand, I suspect most of the time they'll just say, okay. They're not going to say, wait a second. Are you sure that that is a Black Ops, Grey Ops, or Liability card? If they do that, then yeah, you have to explain to them, the cards don't do what they say they do. For no reason. But whatever. Moving on. I just noticed it says this turn the first time you breach either R&D or HQ. So this, if you're breaching R&D with this, it's like it's Maker's Eye minus minus minus. It's slower. It's 2 separate clicks because you need to play it and then make the run. It's more telegraphed. It's more influence. And the corp can turn it off. However, if you play Climactic Showdown, the game is not completely lost. If you play and res Super Deep Borehole, the game is completely lost. You can no longer win. I don't think the errata changed any standard cards to add liability that weren't already illicit. That's worse. If it was like adding Trojan, because like Trojan, it's a bit inelegant to add things, but like Trojan not being on old Botulus was like, a pain to design around. So a functional errata that adds Trojan to cards that like kind of need that makes some sense. It's a bit annoying that your copy of Botulus might not say Trojan, but it's fine. It needs it to open up design space and clarify things. If everything was already illicit, that means everything was already exactly the way that it needed to be. Like we already had a keyword that did exactly what editorial division needed to do. So the change is less justified because everything that was illicit was properly illicit, Like that's worse. Anyway, if you raise Super Deep Borehole, you will certainly lose the game. There's absolutely no way in Standard right now to protect an asset like this, especially while pinhole threading exists. If pinhole threading straight up got banned or something like that, you would still not be able to do it. And if you did do it, it would have been better for you just to like advance out agendas. And if for some reason you weren't allowed to advance out agendas, you win the game. You can win the game off this. Now, I've never won with Super Deep Borehole, but I consider that to be a moral fail, like a character failing on my behalf. I consider that to be like a flaw in my person. I'm being, presently mogged by everyone who has won with Super Deep Borehole. And I bet I could get some YouTube views if I win with Super Deep Borehole. So it's on the list. But you just kind of need your opponent to fall asleep to win with this. Whereas Climactic Showdown, it doesn't do anything, but also doesn't single-handedly lose you the game when you res it. So I think we have to say the Super Deep Borehole is worse, probably now and forever. It's another one where, like, imagine a world where Super Deep Borehole is good. Maybe there's a card that removes all counters from a card. Yeah, that would be a stupid thing to print, but you could theoretically print it. Whereas I'm not sure there's anything like Climactic Showdown, like saves Climactic Showdown. The numbers are just bad. But Climactic Showdown could win you the game, whereas Super Deep Borehole borderline cannot win you the game. Super Deep Roughneck Prison decks are real? No, they're not real. What do you mean they're real? They're not real. You could build one. It would lose every game against a serious player. Like Roughneck, it doesn't synergize with this particularly, aside from the fact that like it removes the bad pub. But you would, yeah, I guess you need to remove the bad pub from this because 6 is too many. But like, if you've res Super Deep Borehole and you're taking bad pub that way, you're kind of relying on the runner never making the successful run. They can never do it. You probably do run Roughneck in the Super Deep Borehole deck. I haven't built one, but yeah, I mean, you either lose on centrals due to the bad pub, or you lose on the remote, like because you get pinholed, or just you don't have a way to protect it. Borehole's worse, but that's a really good matchup. That was a tough one, and I will say, Climactic Showdown did not deserve to be eliminated this early. Okay, moving on to the next bracket. Cost the corp 6 credits, potentially gives the runner infinite credits. Yeah, that's basically it. This is unacceptably bad, but it's so cool. I love it. It's one of my favorite cards. Super Corridor versus Hyobu. What do you guys think? Let me bring them up. I always forget how to spell Hyobu. That one. Have we already done? I feel like we've already. No, we haven't done this matchup yet. Are we allowed to apply the reasoning of you don't have to install Super Corridor? Or we're not allowed to do that? Like the opportunity cost of not playing Malaeus? Hyobu, now that I'm not reading it as a different ID. Yeah, I mean, Malaeus exists. So the opportunity cost of playing Hyobu has gone from being quite high to being like really, really high. You could be getting a credit a turn plus. You could be getting 2 credits a turn off Super Corridor, but you would need a bizarrely good way of matching credit totals. I've seen console-less shaper decks that are good, and therefore you could afford to put a blank console in there. It's not crazy to say. Yeah, they'll hate you for saying it. It's not crazy to say. You could install it. I guess you could install it. It's only 2 more than T400 Memory Diamond, and it gives you an extra MU to that, and maybe even can give you 2 credits at some point. I actually don't think it's like, you know, obviously it's bad, but you know, I'm playing T400 Memory Diamond in a deck and seriously considering it to be like potentially playable competitively. Maybe the deck is just missing Super Corridor. Maybe. Super Corridor could have been printed without the credit counting minigame, and I'd still say it's better than Hyobu. It's not crazy to say that. It's not crazy. Well, no, because then it's like so much worse than Lily Pad. It's so much worse than Lily Pad, but like also Hyobu is so much worse than Malaeus, so it's fine. Cost the same as Meth, but with more MU. Yeah, and gives about the same number of credits as Meth as well, I would say. That's cheeky. It gives less credits than Meth. Meth gives you like 2 or 3, 2 to 4 credits. It's worse than lily pad, but you know, yeah, it's worse than lily pad. But most shaper consoles are worse than lily pad. Anacam is like as good as lily pad, and that's pretty cool to have two contenders for that slot. That's pretty good. Whereas Hyobu, you know, Alco, Malayas, Malayas, I should say. That's how you pronounce it. It's tough. It's tough out there. I don't know. Has anyone? No one's given like a firm answer as to what they think. I need some firm. This is much worse. This is my answer. Give me some hot takes, guys. Hyobi went from bad to unplayable when Slot Machine and Ingram Flush went out together. Yeah, it's true that Hyobi got all of its cards banned. Not that any of them were like that good, but it's like it's the first time each turn you reveal a card, so the cap is not high. But you're right that like the cards that were meant to be played with it are gone. Hyobu was worse, but not by as much. Those two were like good cards because they were insane cards, not because of Hyobu. Actually, I wasn't there when they got banned. Were they played out of Hyobu just because that's what you had to do? I suppose there wouldn't have been that many options. Or were you playing like Ag and Fusion with those cards? Where were those cards seeing play? Like, was Hyobu good when they were around? Probably not, right? England was everywhere. Yeah, I guess you just put England in every deck in all factions. Okay, so like these are cards completely everywhere. How much influence was Slot Machine? I can't remember. Not that I ever played with it. Okay. Hyobu was worse, I think. There is more opportunity cost even than Super Corridor. The effect is weaker. One influence for both. Oh, disgusting. Dude, Ingram Flush for one influence? Yes, please. Can you imagine Alco with Ingram Flush? It'd probably be pretty good. It'd probably be alright, I would say. Anyway, Hyobu, another Hyobu victim. Whistleblower or super deep borehole? Snap borehole. I low key. I don't want to give my opinion away too early, but yeah, one of them has niche tech applications, and one of them does not. One of them is funnier. One of them is cooler. One of them makes sense to exist in this game. As like it plays a piece of like I would say like open my binder and look at cards experience, and that is Super Deep Borehole. I love opening my binder, flicking through, seeing Super Deep Borehole, and thinking, oh, it's so cool. The artwork is sick. The idea is sick. It's evocative. It's got a flashy effect on it. It is the ultimate Timmy card. And Whistleblower is like a spike card that is not nearly good enough at all. It's like, it's got so much text on it. I don't feel like it's especially thematic. I don't like how it reads. I don't think it's clear what it does. It's just kind of it's a rules salad where you need to have such a deep understanding of the exact windows and timings and mechanics of the game to even know at a basic level what this does. I never see Whistleblower in my binder, but that's because I keep neutrals at the back of the binder and resources at the back of each faction. Yeah, okay. That's wise, not unwise. So it's next to Word on the Street then, which I'm sure which is much better than this and much better written than this. Yeah, it does let you say train and get a click basically, but it's so bad. And it's an influence. Oof. Whereas Borehole, I'd love paying 5 influence for Borehole in all my decks. No, this is a better card than Borehole. Even though I like Borehole a lot more, I'm sorry. But hey, we get to talk more about Borehole because it's progressing through to the finals. Would you look at that? I mentioned at the beginning we've got 6 runner cards and 2 corp cards, and look who made it. Look who made it through. Hyobu and Super Deep Borehole. Now for the finale, the grand finale. I spelled Hyobu wrong again. Hyobu. So here's the thing. Hyobu lets you live the CI dream. Cerebral imaging dream? Whereas Super Deep Borehole allows you the Super Deep Borehole, or the complete image dream. Of course, yeah. I mean, how could we be talking about Hyobu for this long without talking about its beautiful partner? Again, these were from like before NSG knew how to do cards properly, but this card has too much text on it. Play only if the runner has 3 or more agenda points and they made a successful run during their last point. So like early threat 3 and a successful run. When you resolve this operation, your action phase ends. Choose a card name, then do 1 net damage. They can't prevent it. You get 1 for free. If their hand is empty, this does just kill. If you trash a card with the chosen name this way, repeat this process. You want to know a fun fact? I straight up thought this card was better because I thought you just had to get the card type correct. I thought you just had to say program, resource, hardware. You need to get the exact card that you're going to hit. What were they thinking? Like, what were they? What was the dream where this hits and is not a 50? Because like say they've ended with 2 cards in hand. Okay, that's fine. And you use Hyobu to see the card, and then you play complete image. You just hope that it hits. Do they need to have 1 card in hand? Is 1 card like the consistent setup? And then you see the other card, and you can't play another CI. Not until... And the crazy thing about this is that it has a... Oh, do we have stats in the... Oh, we do too. Okay. If you know every card in the runner's grip, which is an insane ask, by the way, the chances of flatlining the runner are as follows. 5 cards in hand, around 1%. 4 cards, 4%. 3 cards, 17%. 2 cards, you do indeed have a 50-50 chance. Unless they're both the same card, by the way, which is possible. Position. One card, 100% chance. Zero cards, 100% chance. Yeah. Yeah. It's tough. It's tough. It's tough. And even though it's tough, it costs two to trash. So you can just get rid of it if there was ever any chance it landed. But Hyobu does enable that. Super Deep Borehole. Is anyone running Super Deep Borehole just to proc editorial division loads of times? And you like just draw all your vulture funds and just pretend that you can win that way? It's worse than Nihilo for that purpose? I mean, yeah. Yeah. You can only run 3 Nihilo agents. I want more cards in my deck that don't do anything except for draw me, Oppo research, and end of the line. And that's the singular focus of my entire life. They're probably not even going to trash the borehole. It costs 6 to trash. I can't run very many end of the lines because I am indeed putting 5 influence towards boreholes, but maybe even 10 influence towards boreholes. You don't need 2 end of the lines. Oh, so which of these is worse? You can play borehole in a deck and never play it or res it. And you have lost something pretty substantial. You're going to draw cards in the mid game and they won't do anything. They might even be in your opening hand and you kind of just crumble and lose. But you can overdraw them. It's fine. Hyobu, on the other hand, the opportunity cost of having ID text. Oh, no, Lucy, come on. Borehole is fun for both players. If I was being beaten by a borehole, I would never forget that game of Netrunner. I would remember every card I installed. I would remember every turn that I took, every click I spent. It would never leave my cerebellum or whatever. Like, borehole is fun for the runner. Is it not also fun for the court? The court gets to remember very quickly why you didn't put borehole. Yeah, I mean, as soon as your first borehole goes, it's over. There's barely any ways to protect assets in the game, but could you imagine a world where you can? Maybe you score a Lotus Haze. Okay, wait for it. You've got okay, step 1, score Lotus Haze, obviously. Then, whenever they pinhole for vetting, you just move your flagship over there. It's fine. You just don't get it. Oh, you can't move flagship over to archives. You can move your you can move your, what's the one that you trash the cards from your hands? You spend money, you trash cards from hands, and then you end the run. And then they run your remote, and then you just move it back. And all the cards that you're trashing are the corp equivalent of steel skin scarrings. Anoetic voids. You've installed 3 anoetic voids. It's the future. It's 20XX. You don't have any agenda points in your deck. We've done away with the mechanic. We have printed so many copies of Let Them Dream that no one can win off agenda points. You just don't. You put you're playing RH. You just don't have any points in your deck. You just play. You play 3 Anoetics on the table with your Super Deep Borehole. All the other cards in your deck are Steel Skin Scarrings and Strike Funds, the corp equivalents. How do you lose? Tell me how you lose. There's no risk either. What if they trash it? You probably got more. You probably got more, right? Anyway, it's you could play Super Deep Borehole in a deck and just overdraw it. In Eternal, you could build a deck where you have to steal one government takeover or you can't win as the runner. Good. But Mr. Photo, what about the second borehole? Yeah, so you play, so many addendums get released that you can have an unwinnable situation for the runner, and you score out a Let Them Dream, you bottom your government takeover. It's that easy. Obviously, you can do that. Anyone can do that. Then you borehole them. You don't need to protect centrals. You're good to go. Hyobu, what's the dream for Hyobu? What's the case that I make put this in the deck? Well, maybe it gets support. Like maybe you put normal cards. Like we've made Bladderwort, but it reveals a card. Okay. Maybe I'll play Hyobu. Oh, we've made Bladderwort, but it reveals a card on your turn and their turn. Huh. Okay. I'll play Hyobu Institute. If you turn Hyobu into an asset, how much do you have to juice the numbers until it becomes playable? I don't think I would play it as a 0 to res 4 to trash. I don't think I would play it as a 0 to res 6 to trash. Either. I don't think I would play it at all. I don't think I would play it at all. Like, I don't think I would play it as a 0 to res like 9 to trash, just because the ID text is not good enough. You would need to be running such a bizarre deck to consider, like, to get any number of credits off of it. Maybe they just print a card that just fixes it, though. Like, with like Slot Machine and Engram Flush existed before. Maybe you can unban Slot Machine. If it didn't cost a click to do the reveal, it'd be really good. This would be a strong idea. The information is whatever, but a credit return is good. At least it's not bad. Probably not as good as Malaise, but like, yeah, it's hard to be as good as Malaise. The ability is a basic click for a credit, yeah. And clicking for credits sucks. So it's like, it's click for credit plus. So you whenever you click for a credit, you're actually technically getting some benefit. Can I say something? Hyobu's not that much worse than Hiram. Can I say something? Am I allowed to? Am I allowed to have takes on my own damn channel? Maybe I am. Hyobu's better, right? Hyobu's better. So Super Deep Borehole's the worst card in the game? I'm locking it in. I think Hyobu, people believe in Hiram. They should probably believe in Hyobu. It has more potential. No, that's not true. It's not far off. Hyobu Institute. You are too strong for this bracket. I am reporting the winner of this super serious tournament as Super Deep Borehole. I think it's harder to make work. Submit scores. Woo! Okay. Well done to Super Deep Borehole. What an absolute champion of a card. Maybe sometime over the weekend, or maybe later in the week if I can somehow find time, I will play a Super Deep Borehole deck. But thank you for joining me for this fun thought experiment. And yeah, I don't really have much more for today. I'm going to go make myself some dinner. I have some paneer in the fridge that I'm going to use for curry, I think. People are playing a deck list of the week right now with 0 pinhole. Well, we have a very short amount of time to get this on the table. We need to go, go, go. Yeah, now you need to make a borehole and a Hyobu deck and find out which one is really worse. That is a really good idea, and I will do that. That's so fun. Best thing borehole going forward is the runner might trash it if they see it in a central before you install it. I wish I was getting your runners. I don't think my runners. My camera's damn flip, so I'm on the wrong side of my camera. My runners wouldn't do that, unfortunately. Well, maybe they would. Maybe I should just put this in my deck. Just be like it's like a bite. It's like 6 Eskers. If your runners are trashing super deep borehole from your deck before you're playing it, you've just put 6 Eskers on top of each other. That's crazy. That's value. Oh, we got to go back. We've poorly considered this value. Anyway, thank you for joining me for that, guys. I think I'm going to end the stream here, and I might be live later this week. If you haven't watched my video with Andre, which is Do You Know Netrunner, or Does Andre Know Netrunner? Please go and watch that, because it was a lot of fun, and I think it's a fun video. And there's more stuff coming soon, of course. See you guys. Bye-bye. Bye-bye-bye-bye-bye.